Hey everyone, Matron here, bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary, this time a self-analysis, one of my own games. I'll be spawning as the red Protoss, and Shynobi will be spawning as the blue Zerg. Shynobi around the 1500 point range in Diamond. I'm currently sitting around 1300, slowly working my way up. Don't play that many games, as just don't get a lot of time to play with all the casting I've been doing. So, gonna try to expand my horizons a little bit here, get away from my normal builds, the 4-gate, the 3-gate, and Robo. So, I have been trying fast expand against Terran a little bit with some success. Gonna try the same thing against Zerg this time, a little bit different. Because most Zergs these days are going for the fast expand, gonna do a Forge first, fast expand myself, with a little bit of a cannon pressure as well. Try to deny and harass early in the game. One reason I like doing this is I just want to put pressure on the Zerg player early on, make them commit drones, APM, more important, their thoughts on the harassment that I'm going to try to do, plus deny the expansion best I can. Typically you see the Protoss player, running back and forth right around the minerals. I'm going to deny the expansion that way, but I'm going to try a different way. I like them to throw down that hatchery, sink that 300 minerals right away so that they don't get a pool first. And it looks like he's going to see my Forge first here. Another thing this harassment early on is going to let me do is place my pylon here. If I try to place my pylon here with a gateway and he goes for a fast pool, there's no way to wall off my ramp here. So if I am able to do a little bit of cannon pressure, it might keep his Zerglings at bay. I'm doing a little bit of kind of queuing with my probe here, trying to go back and forth and hide the fact that I'm going to drop a cannon in this corner. He's smart, sending his Overlord. He's going to be able to see the pylon that I throw down. A little late on that pylon. I was waiting for minerals, and I did choose to throw down a photon cannon and gateway at my main first. So I could have had this pylon up much earlier. If we look, he is going to be pulling off a bunch of drones here. Looks like 8 drones are going to be going after this pylon. So if you look, his income is going to plummet for the moment. So I'm up at 620, still powering probes best I can, and he has dropped by about 300 per minute. So I am having to cancel a few photon cannons here. Again, canceling, I'm going to get back 25% of my, 75% of my resources. So as long as I cancel these, right now it just cost me about 75 minerals to cancel those 2 cannons. But I pulled all these drones off for a good long while, about 45 to 60 seconds there. So I denied him a good 200 to 300 minerals. All in all, it's sort of a wash. He doesn't lose all that much. In fact, his drones are right here to saturate his natural. But it does basically put him back on his heels, and he's got to react to it. He's got to keep drones or pump out Zerglings to take care of the pylon and the cannons. So again, going to come in with another probe. This time not really going to try too much harassment with it. I just want to make him, again, pretty fidgety about having something in his base. He was smart taking that pylon out with only drones there, as he did not make any extra Zerglings. If we look at the production tab, just now making his first 2 Zerglings. Looks like they are rallied to my probe. I was going to drop a pylon here and try to throw up a cannon, hopefully make him pull off drones, but I mismicroed that probe a little bit. I didn't realize he had Zerglings coming out. I thought they were all drones. So going to have to cancel this pylon, and I think I'm able to cancel it here. As you can see, my Nexus is almost complete. Didn't really mention when I threw it down, but it was around the 4-minute mark, as they do take 100 game seconds. So maybe about 4:20, 4:30 is when I threw it down. But now I am definitely up and ready to start pumping out of both these Nexus. I do have a little bit of a space here between my gateway and my Nexus, which I think is okay because I can block that off with a Zealot. Now he finally sees that I do have my own expansion up, and I have 2 cannons, so I'm pretty safe here from any sort of run-by, unless he comes with a lot of Zerglings. So if we look at him right now, he's just pumping drones, which is a very smart thing to do, as he knows that I'm turtled up a little bit. So we see he has 6 drones on the way. He does have his 2 queens, producing a 3rd queen as well. So pretty smart play all around. He took care of that cannon rush. Is getting up gas, and no lair tech yet. So just pumping out more and more drones. He is at 36 drones to my 29. I am chronoing out of both Nexus, or at least I should be, and trying to push as many drones as I can, or as many probes as I can. Again, I feel pretty safe right now with my one Zealot walling off here and the photon cannons. Any sort of run by, the Zergling numbers are just going to be cut in half, depending on how many he sends. He's created a spine crawler here, so he's probably feeling pretty secure right now as well. His income is up at 1,300 compared to my 1,100, so I'm still pretty behind, which isn't very fair because I have to take a lot more liberties to get up this Nexus than the Zerg player necessarily does. But I should be going off of this this excess income shortly, and we'll see how it works out for me. He is going to send more Zerglings here. If we look at the unit tab, he does have 20 Zerglings, so he's going to do a little bit of an attack here. This pylon is sort of out to dry, so that is going to go down. I'm trying to get the Zealot in position, do as much damage as I can. If we look at the his Zergling numbers, I'm able to take down about a third of the Zerglings, but they did make it in my main. Very poor job there. One thing I could have done was throw a gateway down right here with a probe to wall off there, but it looks like I'm going to try to micro away from these Zerglings right now. When I went into this, I think I had about 41 probes, so I've lost 4 so far. Not too bad. Did lose a little bit of mining time, but getting right back to it best I can. And did throw down a cannon and tried to warp in a Zealot here to deny the little bit of a run-in by those Zerglings. And looks like I'm going to be able to clean this up pretty easily. Didn't take too much economic damage there. Did fall behind on my creation of probes and chrono boosting, and need another gateway, or created into a warp gate here. So both of us sort of trading harassment early on, trying to throw each other off our games. At this point, if we look at the production tab, he did get up a Baneling nest and now going for a ton of Zerglings, 24 adding to the number he already has. So a Baneling bust is possibly going to come here. I'm just pushing out more and more Zealots, and I'm also getting down at the robotics facility. My plan right here was to go for Colossi, as he's mostly going for Zerglings. Really not sure what sort of lair tech he's going to go for. One thing I did not do very well in this game was scout at all. So if he went Mutalisk at this point with the number of Zealots I had, not be in a good situation. I'm running off of 4 gateways right now, and my robotics facility's on the way, working on my +1 weapon upgrade. And it looks like he's going to come in, because he does have 38 Zerglings right now. We'll see how many he chooses to create into, make into Banelings. If you look at the unit counting station, I have 10 Zealots and 3 Stalkers, so pretty decent army. I actually have a larger army than him, but these Banelings are going to be trouble. They could easily bust through my forge and all the cannons here. So I do not yet know about these Banelings, just doing my best creating more probes, always keeping those in queue, and trying to pump out more and more Zealots. We see he's throwing down a Roach Warren, and I'm getting my robotics bay up. I do see this, I think, right now, or at least I try to push out and do a little bit of pressure here. So he is going to come in here, losing control of my units a little bit here, though it's not too bad as his whole force isn't engaged. At this point I decided with all these Banelings coming, I wanted to try to soak up as much damage as possible with those Zealots, so that might have looked like a little bit of a misplay on my part there, but I'd rather have the Banelings go after the Zealots. They don't do as much damage against the units as they do against these buildings. And I knew if I lost this, this set of buildings here, they'd be easily able to run by, and I might be in trouble. So sort of sacrificed my entire army there. Not sure if that was a great move or not. And then he also made it into my Naturals mineral line and was able to take down a number of probes as well. So right now he's pretty much ahead. He's establishing a third base at his at the gold there. If we look at the resource station, both of us having trouble spending our minerals right now. I'm getting up my first Colossi, and then just trying to get more and more Zealots out best I can. At this point, he probably should have done a run-by. I didn't have much. He could have made it in my main pretty easily. I got those sentries up to try to get a wall off, but they were a little bit late. So if he had pushed in there, I'm pretty sure he would have been able to do a lot of damage, maybe fatal damage to me in my main. So with these Zealots that are out, I am researching charge, so I'm figuring with the Zerglings he's going for,